I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to StuCurls.com to watch this amazing Stu Sells Tankard curling. Grab a glass of wine and watch some more.
A very pleasant good day and welcome to the Stu Sells Toronto Tankard from the High Park Club in Toronto, Canada. Yeah. First round action here between John Epping and Evan Van Amsterdam. I'm Dave Schmel, and you're watching Curling Zone. We have action underway here in the first end. John Epping with the Blue Stones and Evan Van Amsterdam with the Yellow Stones. It is Epping with hammer here in the first end. Big event with a lot of great curling planned for this weekend, and we hope you'll join us on Curling Zone for all the action this weekend. We'll be showing all the games and all the sheets with selected commentary. Promises to be a fun weekend. Here's Tanner Horgan. Sorry, Ian McMillan still with this second. I do apologize for that. This squad for John Epping of Tanner and Jake Horgan and Ian McMillan all played together. Tanner skipping. Now they've joined forces with the veteran John Epping to take a run at this season. Should be an interesting team. There's a run back, gets them all moving, does pop the Epping rock out into the open, but does not clear it all the way out. And Epping will attempt to hit and roll in line two. We have all of our sheets in action. We'll make sure to keep you apprised of what's going on. Once again, you can watch all the sheets on Curling Zone all weekend long. That one does just reckon the guard. So now an opportunity for Van Amsterdam to make sure the force is in order here. The ice to be a little bit tighter. Middleton does not squeeze past the guard. It will ricochet in line 2. So opportunity swings back to Team Epping here. Angle isn't the best for a double takeout. Is there. The slash would certainly lose the shooter. So he may choose to leave one of them in the wings. Tanner Horgan with this one. Hitting a small roll. There are line shots done. Sorry, second shot. Here's Jason Ginter. This one curling quite a bit. They're going to hold on just to get a piece, and they do. Does not clear it from the rings, though. And it does appear to leave John Epping sitting second and third shot right now. So just a couple misses have really swung this end into a huge opportunity for John Epping here in the first end. Here's Jacob Horgan with his shot away. Gonna pop this yellow through the hole. Gonna hit and take it off the side. They are gonna lose the shooter. Ooh, it did get a spin back there at the end. That's gonna be quite close. Shot's just a little bit tight to get a good read on that. Indication could be that Van Amsterdam Stone outcounts it, so that's Epping line 1-2 in the back. So a chance to get out of the end here with minimal damage for Evan Van Amsterdam. There's Ginter to make this hit with nice easy weight and roll in front. Have to watch the line. They did lose the last one down this way. Are going to make the double takeout with just a nice little bit of touch there. Very well executed shot. Now with 3 racks left in the end, I think it's going to see a possibly he can work his way back to a deuce here, although that seems to be tough because everything is strung out here on the outside. Very creative to work your way back to a blank, but first things first, address these 2 yellows. So here's Horgan. He's bringing some weight at it. Going to remove 2. Pop it out the side door, lose the shooter. Still shot stone belonging to Evan Van Amsterdam from Edmonton, Alberta. Currently ranking number 42 on the team rankings. And Epping ranked 33rd at the moment. That in the lie 2. Angle's not favorable at all for any sort of double takeout. But probably worth giving it a go. No guards up front. You're not really in any danger of a steal here. Make the hit and roll towards the center. So Van Amsterdam will try to return the favor and leave the force in order. You want to be careful not to jam on the one in the back, so that would lead to a score of 3.
Four draws at the same time. Then we picked one. He's like, okay, see where it goes.
On the way from Van Amsterdam, they'll make this right on the beak. Avoid this, well, catch the one in the back, but no worries there. So John's going to give this a look and then decide that a draw to the 8-foot is a much better idea, facing 2 in the first end. I have to say I agree with him. So final stone of the first end, John Epping needs to draw the 8-foot. Millen and Horgan guiding it in. And no problem. So it's a score of 1 for Epping. He takes early advantage. Van Amsterdam will have the hammer when we come back from High Park after this.
Hey, curling fans, I'm standing here in front of Sheet Stew here at the High Park Club, and I just want to let you know that I'm so excited to sponsor the sport of curling, to help curling out. So you can go to stewcurls.com, see all my events, see the Stew Sell series, but you know what? I also sell real estate as well. So you need to buy a house, list a house, condo, rental, business. Look, give me Stu a call.
Don't forget the brooms.
Yep, you got it.
Come on. Well, what do you got? You got 1, you got 2, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
Back in High Park at the Stu Sells, Toronto Tankard. John Epping scored 1 in the first end. Evan Van Amsterdam with the Yellow Stones has hammer here in end number 2. I'm Dave Schmel, happy to join you here on Curling Stadium. The center guard is up. And we draw the top 4 right to Stu's forehead.
Keep it going, keep it going.
Ian McMillan looking to freeze on down. Taps it up a little bit. Maintains a pretty good angle. In the 4-foot. Parker's going to throw some quiet weighted fist. By the guard light nicely, and they leave it edge on edge. Epping's looking to throw the double here. As for easy weight. puck's pretty close. On the one to the second, and you clear them both. Nicely done. Really well managed shot here. Waited to just the right time. Killed both and held on to the shooter. This one needs to come over a little bit. It will make the hit, but the shooter will just hold on to the edge of the ring. Epping asking for the hit here, reminding him to keep the weight up on it. These hits on the outside can be just a touch tricky. Comes on over the side of the 4-foot at the tee line. Epping's going to ask Jake Horgan to hit and roll under cover here. He'll be in good position at the top of the button if it's made. Come over a hair and get the hit and not too much of a roll, so the same opportunity is going to be there for Evan Van Amsterdam. Although he will be rolling underneath his opponent's cover. This one needs to curl, trying to get it walk over there, but it's not going to. Well, now let's see if third time's a charm. This one, and this time we do get that roll, so that's very nice. Dead behind his own cover, so now double deals on order. Looks like he may have set this one out just a touch. Does not clear it all the way. Gives Epping a chance to draw under again. John Epping, of course, no stranger to the Toronto area. And here's the Lee's Side Curling Club. So the first is the cue from the skipper here in the second. It's got a long way to curl. And the weight just came off of that.
Could have just caught it wide or not.
So looking at hitting and rolling under cover, this is the least risky of all the options. This ensures you're going to kill at least one.
I just wanted to have the guard on my first round. I just use that because I guess. That's fine.
I did what I thought it was.
Always do want to make sure that you have a path to score. Draw path on the left side of the sheet is somewhat congested right now. So by doing this, you're making sure you get in there and maybe get a shot at a skipper's goose. Working hard to hold it. Gonna hold it. And gets a pretty good roll. Right onto the button. Just got really hard work there. Held it and maintained just the proper amount of energy for that to end up on the lid. So some danger here for John Epping. Obvious shot would be to play the short run, or maybe a little bit more aggressive here, which is what they're going to do, and play a cross-weight tap and sit shot. If you're ever to pull this off, it will be somewhat more difficult for Van Amsterdam to score. Likely might have to run the center in. It's a lot of distance. So, Epping stepping out here a little bit. And here's his final in the second. Still pretty wide. It's got to come on up, work it over, and that is going to drift through. That was the danger there, because now you just gave your opponent a free deuce. just never had the line. So final stone upcoming. It's going to be a draw to the 12-foot. Just needs full 12-foot.
Yeah, I'm getting like kind of 4 or 5.
That's there, no problem. Van Amsterdam gets their dues. It's 2-1 after 2. At the Scoreboard, Toronto Tankard. We'll be back.
Hey, all you curling fans sitting at home watching the Stu Sells Toronto Tankard here at StuCurls.com. Look, High Park's just down the road. We're here in the Junction. If you bring the map card with you, come to Caribou Gifts and start your Christmas shopping early and get some great gifts for the fans.
Hi, I'm Carl Kloss and I'm the owner of Kloss Concepts. We're an electrical contractor operating in the GTA and Muskoka areas. Kloss Concepts is the proud title sponsor of the Toronto Tankard Series. We would like to wish everybody good luck and happy curling.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Back here at High Park, it's a third end. There's a score of 2 for Evan Van Amsterdam, and he has the lead over John Epping. Epping elected to be quite aggressive there with his last. Coming up on a shot that most likely would have allowed a blank end, but instead it was a score 2 for Van Amsterdam. So now they have a hammer here in the third. High Park Club, a beautiful 5-sheet facility right in the heart of Toronto.
That's right, Drew. Yeah. A little more.
First card goes off the center line. Now we're going to draw underneath for this one. And Epping's going to follow it on in. So staying aggressive here is John Epping. From Ian McMillan. Bring it right up to the face of it. A little tap. fifth drop at the end. And use the opportunity to duck underneath again. Come down to the corner. So we're gonna have some rocks in play.
Play the issue.
Freezes right up to the face of it. Keep the corner freeze train going here. And that one comes right up to the face there. This one from Sterling Middleton's gonna find its way up there, and we have 5 in the house, and I have a second man in the booth. I'm joined by Darnell Duff. How you doing, Darnell? Epping selecting to hit the abort button here and open things up. A lot of granite. We'll see how much Tana can remove with one swipe here. One's curling up a little bit high. Gets rid of one, and that's about it. But leaves their rock in a good spot. Does appear to be Epping's shot underneath that entire mess. Both guys working hard to try to bring this one down. Needs the weight, it needs legs. It's gonna wick on the guard. Does not end up in the worst place. Still shot stone for Epping. Angle's not really in John's favor here. And ask Jacobs to take a look at it. problem is that stone in the top 12. Because it is going on to the other yellow, which is right on the red. I'm sorry, the blue rather. Wrong club. And it's just going. They are going to make a play at it. It'll be very interesting to see how this works out. And most importantly, how Van Amsterdam reacts to it. See, viewer in the lounge has their snack ready, their popcorn. I want to get mine ready too right now. Come on in there, it's going to be on the one. Run back the other one and move things around a little bit. He did kind of massage the yellow rocks onto the button, but it is Epping sitting 2, 3, and 4 after that. So it went from sitting 1 to having a lot of granite potentially being able to score. So Van Amsterdam said, wow, I'm shot, great. But this is certainly precarious. Considering playing the one in the wings and coming back for the 4. Certainly wouldn't mind that. Here's Jason Ginter to try to make that happen. Just stays there. Doesn't look like the double goes there. Looks like it might clip the one in the back, so gonna have to get to that shot stone from the center most likely. Or he could always try to dig it. Plenty of room for that, but after seeing one slide by in the second, I don't know if John's the biggest fan of that shot right now. Hear the front end saying this is a weak shot. I would agree on that. You can manage the brushing and manage the line. It has to come out the hand the right way to have a chance at that. This line looks pretty good. They're going to skinny on pass, make the hit, roll open just a skosh, move it back. You probably would have liked to move it just a foot more maybe, but that's still a pretty good result. If we look at the angles there, there's a real jam possibility on the yellow rock by removing the Epping stuff here. There's Epping sitting first and second at the moment.
Hello.
Hello, I think I'm being joined by my color analyst, Darnell. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I am super fantastic. Thank you for joining us today.
This is awesome.
Well, right here we have Epping with hammer and threatening here. Van Amsterdam's trying to figure out a way out of this one.
And a good opportunity to do so, I think, if you can ever find a way to get to the inside of that rock.
That Epping stone at the center line 12 foot seems to be threatening anything there, though. So here we go, Jason. On the way down. Just gonna nose it is Van Amsterdam with his first.
Makes Epping make a shot. It's a little bit tough, from the angle to get to the inside, but at least forces Epping to make a shot. And if Epping makes a little bit of an error, that's how Van Amsterdam can find a way to get out of this end.
Don't want to leave anything easy for Van Amsterdam to come back on here. I think a hit and roll open is safe enough right now.
You have to good chance here for Epping to almost solidify this win with a good shot here. But if his shot is less than perfect, it at least gives Van Amsterdam an opportunity to try and get out of trouble.
Have to roll that shooter.
Certainly a lot less ice than Van Amsterdam gave, so I'm interested to see what kind of weight they're coming here and what the end goal is.
I think he's going to throw this with enough weight that if it catches the guy in the back, it's going to go.
Sounds like they're signaling back.
Yeah, I just saw that.
The broom was moved out probably, almost a up and down broom head. So as Epping got to the hack to deliver the shot, so really interested to see what happens here.
John Epping with his first here in the third. Working hard to hold the line. To get past the guard, they do, and it is going to roll.
Oh man,
nicely under cover.
Real nice.
As we take another look at this here. Really dug down deep. Nice roll to the So now Van Amsterdam's going to have to take a look at that in the center. Do you think he can ever make all three of these moves?
I think you're going to need some serious heat. I don't see how you're going to get all three out. I don't see how Epping's not going to have a shot for two after this one, unless some sort of miracle. I mean, I know he can throw some heat, but he's going to have perfect. You have to pair that heat with that perfect angle. That's what Paul Tasker did.
Yeah, well, you see the motion of the shot. They're looking at running the one with the top 12 feet, onto the one of the 4 foot, and then carrying that in, and then lose that object rock out the top.
Now, I guess my one question on the left rock, blue rock on the side of the 5 foot or the 4 foot, does that jam on the yellow and the 12, and then which would maybe allow Epping just to come down to that back yellow again to solidify too? Like this is this is a high degree of difficulty. Interested to see how it all turns out.
I think it slides underneath of it. But definitely will be interesting. So, final stone coming for Amsterdam. He needs to make at least 2 go away here.
Big shot. This could be a huge momentum boost for Amsterdam. Obviously for Epping, it could be in his favor as well.
On the way, working it hard. Coming on down to it. You get the one off the second, get it moving, and it stuffs it. But not bad at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that shot was. You would have had to be absolutely perfect.
Right, Jake?
You know, he brought the weight as he wanted. Obviously, a little bit out of the release. I think the sweeper picked him up pretty much instantly. Good effort, but you know, just a pretty well played in by Team Epping.
So he just needs to generate just a little bit more of an angle there to carry some more action. So Epping here is going to need the full 8 foot. He can draw down to his own. The backing is just fine. Final stone at number 3.
A shot that you expect the brushers just to dust it in, nothing wrong, all good, just like dust. And a shot that Epping, he's no stranger, he knows what he's doing there. So, nice draw, really nicely played out.
Well, they do swiffer that in, and they get their deuce. So it's 3-2 after 3 here from High Park. We'll be back after this.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the Sioux South Toronto Tankard here at StuCurls.com. And all you fans and all you curling teams who are staying in the area, come up to Petty Fine Foods. Lots of great prepared food. You just throw in the oven, cook, eat, and go. And if you show your map card to Stefo, you're gonna get
a free espresso and a complimentary cannoli on the house.
free. Free. So come on up.
4-letter magic word.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss, but it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
Back here in the 4th end, Epping got his deuce. Has a 1-stone lead here. And Amsterdam throwing the yellow rocks as Hammer here in end number 4. The first guard is up from Team Epping. And here we see Amsterdam coming right on into the 4-foot.
And I think if you go back to last end there, Dave, I think if you're Team Amsterdam, you're okay giving up 2 because you're still in a situation now where, if you get 2, you're up. And you had to force at the end of the day, although it was an easy shot from Team Epping at the end, you still had to force them to make a shot. So if you're Amsterdam, sure, you never want to trail, but certainly not in a bad spot here heading into the set.
With that stone being in the rings, nice opportunity that Team Epping can use here to catch it and leave a guard, and with any luck, roll into the center line as well.
2, 1.
It is very close to the center line. Don't think it's quite on it.
Yeah, I think it's maybe just touching it, but an opportunity now for Amsterdam to tuck one behind a couple of guards. And at that point, it's game on in this end.
Absolutely, they want to draw right to Stu Sankey's forehead. Great sponsor of curling. The Stu Sells series. Great series of tournaments across the country.
Outstanding right there. You saw it, just perfect. Left it to the brushers, let them do their work a little bit, and it just posted in. So a really good shot, and as I mentioned, just one shot ago. Now it's game on, and an opportunity for for them to get back in this for Team Epping, and we'll see if they can counter Amsterdam's great rock.
So the corner freeze was asked for. Now it's taken the break. Now will it carry the right amount of weight? Nice corner freeze.
Yeah, pretty much exactly where the broom was, exactly where they wanted that rock, and now it's up for Amsterdam to cluster it up a little bit and try and get the angles in his favor here. But a really nice draw to perhaps settle things down early in the end and get a feel for it.
Here we have. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, sorry. I was just kidding. That's always something that interests me early in a tournament. With it only being Thursday, and this tournament going throughout the weekend, it's always, in my opinion, games always favor teams that can get the feel of the ice a lot earlier than teams that maybe it takes them a couple of days or even just a few draws to get accustomed to it.
That's absolutely always the case for sure. That one comes right on down and not quite the perfect stagger, so I think you have the ability to make those yellows go if you want to, but letting to lead the pressure on you.
Well, and that's the thing with, these guys are so good these days, and that's, for a recreational curler, that's a really good shot, but once you get to the elite level and you're off even by, a couple of inches, that can heavily hurt you. I mean, we'll see what Epping does here. It doesn't look like he's going to take care of those yellow rocks, but as you alluded to, there certainly has an opportunity if he wanted to go down that route to probably get one for sure, and perhaps he can just move them around a little bit.
But instead, he's going to let that guard sit there like a vulture, and then try to come underneath himself. This one's coming up right up to the face of that, so don't know. That may have taken away that angle shot.
Yeah, really impressed right now, though, Dave, with the weight of these gentlemen. Their draw weight it seems to be spot on, and as I mentioned, still really early in the tournament, but obviously with a practice earlier, and it just seems like these guys are dialed in. They know what's at stake. They know the competition is going to be tough, and I'm sure they've been practicing a lot, leading up to this tournament. But some really nice shot making right now. And at some point, we're going to see probably some more upgrade shots. It's going to be interesting to see what team, or I think they're calling back four right now to perhaps maybe open up things up a little.
Definitely plenty at stake this weekend. $40,000 purse. Really a question of who's going to blink first with the big weight shot. Sterling's going to come on down and take a look at it. Well, why not bring the whole squad? More the merrier.
It seems to be more that trending that way, Dave. You have a lot of smart minds these days, whether it be lead, second, third, and skips obviously, but there's a lot of brilliant minds on the ice, and I thought even when I was growing up and watching the game, it was more so maybe just two of the players or maybe three chatting shots, but I like what Van Amsterdam's doing, using four minds, maybe not trying to overcomplicate things, because I think that's where you can get in trouble when you overcomplicate things and think about a shot too much. But I'm sure these four smart minds just want to get the right shot and then deliver it as best as they can.
Smart minds. I hope you're that kind to me if you ever call one of my games.
I can already tell you're one of the best, that's for sure. Really cool to see Jason Ginter on the ice. I know back in my time I used to host online curling tournaments, and he was a guy who played quite frequently, and he was one of the better players. So it's interesting to see when someone can have success on an online curling game, but translate that to have some pretty good success in real life. So pretty cool story from Jason Ginter there.
I think I may have participated in one of those online games.
You may have. I know there was people from all over the map, and that was during COVID times, and everybody was itching for some curling action. But this is a big shot here from Sterling.
Shot away from Sterling Middleton. See what happens here. We make contact at the top one, and we're just gonna shuffle the deck a little bit. It did release their stone, and it took the immediate danger away from Epping running his on.
Yeah, really nice shot from Sterling there. I think Van Amsterdam is sitting in a pretty good spot. Angles are favoring them, and now it's up to Epping to try and counter it. But just going back to my previous point, that curling game was, for the folks who have not played it before, it's Fly or Die Curling, easily accessible, playcurling.com, free, fun, cool opportunity to meet some new people and some avid curling fans from across the board.
I'm pretty sure my club had a little tournament on that at some point.
It was fun, especially during the pandemic. Everybody wanted to be on the ice, but we couldn't. So it's just a pretty cool community. It's a small world, I like to think of it as.
Oh, that is one thing that is totally for sure. This team has given me friends all around the world.
That's why we love it. The heaviest shot of the end, interested to see what comes out of this one.
Morgan's Rock moves one and
real nice.
Runs off the shot stone very nicely, and they're sitting shot now.
And you had to be that had to be very, very precise. A tricky run back, had some pretty good distance as well, but perfectly played, and that sort of gets Epping out of trouble for the meantime. Now it's up to Amsterdam to perhaps try and put some pressure back on, but it looks like he's also going to be doing that hit and roll action with some speed on this one.
Definitely start to get things moving. I just don't know how much energy is going to transfer through the pile. One's on the way. Also coming with all due alacrity. Hits the one, releases it, pushes them all back. It does remove the shot rock. Leaves Epping sitting one, but it's way more open now. That really changed the landscape. Let's take a look at that again.
Jason Ginter coming with the high heat there and moving all sorts of grounded. Impressive shot, but now allows Epping to try and split the rings, and then it's up to Amsterdam then to try and get himself back in this end. But a good shot from Ginter to open it up and take away that little slight scare perhaps he's forcing his.
So at this point in the end, do you like just hitting and sticking there and just leaving the ring split?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think you want to dare with trying to move in and then give Amsterdam an opportunity to perhaps make a double on the right to left and then sit behind, because he does have a corner guard there up there, so you don't want to give him any opportunity to try and make a double. I think you just hit and stick and make Amsterdam be the aggressor if he so wishes to.
hit it. You think the long double is there?
You'd have to have a lot of weight. I'm just wondering if they're going to try and hit that one in the forefoot and maybe flop under their yellow, because there's still an opportunity here. It depends on how it's going to have to be perfect weight, because that corner guard isn't overly far out of the rings and probably going to have to curl it at the end. But if you can ever get to the inside, you're once again in a really good spot. And it looks like Amsterdam, he wants to try and capitalize when he gets an opportunity. And if he can make this perfect, he's going to be in a really good spot.
The real key was that Eppington rolled to a point where there was plenty of room to make this shot and still be shot. So. Jason Ginter.
Ginter, no stranger to making big shots at big moments, and he's going to need a big one here to really put the pressure on Epping.
There we go. That one now is coming on over, but it won't come over far enough. So
I tell you, that was so close there. That was really close to being really good. Just needed to curl a half an inch more, but that now it's a pretty seamless shot from John, and once again to take any momentum away from Team Amsterdam. But that was really close to being really good. This isn't a simple shot. I mean, it's a shot that you would expect a player of John Epping's caliber to make, pretty routinely, but it's not an easy shot by any means.
Most importantly, trying to manage the roll here. They are trying to stick it right underneath the cover, and that they do right under the lid.
But that is back of the button, so now an opportunity for Amsterdam to try and pin one right on the top, and I think the opportunity to get two is still going to be there. I mean, he's going to have two real good shots, but I think John slid a little bit too far there on that hit ball.
Everyone's going to take a shot at this. Just trying to come on down and lock it in there for shot.
Couple of fifth place finishes for Team Amsterdam this year at the Hack 2 House Alberta Curling Series Major, as well as the Savile Shootout in Edmonton. So they're looking to improve on that this week and perhaps get onto the podium and make some noise. As you mentioned, $40,000 up for grabs, but this one looks well outside.
That is right in the seam line where John Epping had one speech behind the second one. So it might be just a hair straighter there.
And now an opportunity for Team Epping to be the aggressor here. And if you put this in a really good spot, what does Amsterdam do with this last? That was a critical miss in an unfortunate time for Amsterdam, who otherwise is playing a pretty good game. But Epping could take a pretty good commanding spot in this if he can put one maybe top four and really block anything.
Yeah, good shot here. It's going to force you to play some sort of angle off the guard. Some sort of run, which never easy, are they? Had an opportunity to call a few of those matches for Edmonton and Amsterdam at those events you mentioned. They were playing quite well.
this could be one of those shots that really changes the outlook of the game. If Epping can put this in a really good spot, Amsterdam's going to, feel the pressure as he goes down the hack to try and maybe maneuver his way into the 4-foot for one. But if Epping can put this in a good spot, it's going to be tough.
It's got to go. They got to get it there, try to get every inch out of it, lock it right on there, and that's not too bad.
Yeah, that's pretty darn good, I would say. I don't know if you're Amsterdam, you're looking at that double, but this is a critical juncture of the game. You cannot afford to give up. Giving up a steal one is okay. You're only down by 2 then, but if once you get into that, if you get in that spot where you're giving up stealing, 2 and even 3, then you're in a real tough spot. So kudos to John Epping, capitalize, and that's the thing. You have to capitalize when your opponents make a mistake. Amsterdam made a mistake with his first there on his draw when he put it through the house, and now Epping made a really nice shot, and now it's up to Amsterdam to try to equal it.
So a huge shot upcoming here. Facing 4. And then Amsterdam. Final stone in the 4th end. Got to make this double. You got to make it, and you have to hold the shooter. Trying to bring it over. On the 1, you'll come on over, and you just glance it and shoot out the back. And that's a steal of 1, 2, and 3 for John Epping. And he jumps out to a 6-2 lead after 4 here at Hyde Park. We'll be back.
On behalf of the volunteer board, the support team, and all the families who will be helped by this year's Sandra Schmerler Foundation Telethon, thank you for being a part of this historic moment. $1,126,014, a new record, exceeding our goal, and most importantly, countless families from St. John's to Victoria to Yellowknife and babies in over 100 hospitals in between will be impacted by your generosity. And we couldn't do it without the amazing partnerships we have with Curling Canada, TSN, and Net2Phone Canada. They connect you, our generous supporters, with so many of the Scotties participants and our volunteers on Telethon Day. A special thank you to Jocelyn and Brett for sharing little Luke Gallant's stories, and all of the families across this great country who shared stories of how Sandra's legacy has helped their little ones grow up and become champions. In each of the last 3 years, because of generous supporters like you, the Sandra Schmerler Foundation has been able to give back $1 million to help babies in every province and territory. And this year's telethon will ensure we can continue that incredible momentum. Thank you for helping champions start small.
Thank you, Canada!
Hey, curling fans, I'm standing here in front of Sheet Stew here at the Hyde Park Club, and I just want to let you know that I'm so excited to sponsor the sport of curling, to help curling out. So you can go to stewcurls.com, see all my events, see the Stew Sell series, but you know what? I also sell real estate as well. So you need to buy a house, list a house, condo, rental, business. Look, give me Stu a call.
So back here at the Stu Sells Toronto Tankard, Dave Schmel with Darnell and Duff with you. And Darnell, big steal of 3 there in the last 10.
Yeah, really big there, Dave. And it really took a turn when Jason Ginter was trying that hit and flopped in. He needed a couple more inches of curl to get under that rock, but once he didn't, a player of the caliber of Epping, not an easy shot, but somewhat routine for him, and did a pretty good job. Hit and flopped over to the back of the 4-foot. Still allowed Amsterdam an opportunity to try and glue one on, and then if he did that, Amsterdam would have likely had a shot for 2 at the end, but he went straight through the house. And then again, you give Epping those opportunities for really a free draw to the 4-foot. He's going to make those a lot more often than he isn't, and he did. And then Amsterdam had a really, really tough double. Giving up 1 would have been okay. Giving up 2, you're not, overly upset. You're still down by 3, but you're only playing in the 5th end. But once you give up a steal of 3 and you're down by 4, you're in full-on claw mode, and it's really tough to come back against a team like John Epping, who are making a lot of their shots right now.
So the first two go right in for John Epping and his squad. We have a corner guard up, and we're coming right underneath of it. Are you surprised they didn't go double corners here?
A little bit surprised, yeah. I am a little bit surprised that they didn't. Now they put it really nicely behind that corner guard there, but I am surprised that they didn't go double corner. No reason to panic if you're Epping, and you just put another one in the rings, and eventually Team Amsterdam is going to have to deal with it. Or are they looking to trying that back line wait? That's a tough shot, but you know, I think if there's a team that's going to make this right now with how they're playing, it will be Team Epping.
And even if you're just to wick off the guard, that wouldn't be terrible as long as you don't make a guard violation.
No, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. A tick and roll over to cover yours is never a bad thing. This is a big rush. This looks really tight.
That is going to catch it now. Will it go all the way out? It does not. So,
wow,
not a bad result, really.
No, I mean, that's not ideal per se, but. You know, depending on where see, and that's the thing with Amsterdam not putting up a second guard there. Where does he go now? Because if he tries to tuck one behind that guard, then that's a straight run back for Epping, which it looks like maybe he's going to do. But things aren't setting up well for Amsterdam right now.
It's almost like it's one of those situations you have to score two before you can score three.
Yeah, I honestly, Dave, I don't think you could be thinking about three right now. Sure, we'd love three. I mean, John Epping wasn't thinking about stealing three in that end. He was just thinking about trying to eliminate the damage and not allow a big end, but it turned out that he did end up stealing three. But if you're Amsterdam, still plenty of game. I mean, you're only in the fifth end. You get two here, you're down by two, you give up, one, you force, and then you're only down by three, and you're right back in it. So just try and find a way to maneuver yourself and get 2 points, get yourself back in the game. But you can't allow another steal here, or scoring one is probably not enough.
Right. I intend where there's there to say that you want to be aggressive, but you can't get too crazy right away, because then you end up giving away the game right now.
Absolutely. Perfect point.
This, of course, is a triple knockout format. Much easier to go through the A than through the C, for sure, with this many teams.
Yeah, just the way it was off there, Dave. That was just the way it was short. Wasn't going to make their tough miss for Middleton, and I would imagine that giving up that steal of three, that's deflating for a team that otherwise was playing solid. They were making shots. They were sticking close with a real good team effort. But in that instance, it can be pretty deflating, especially when you find out that you're down by 4 at the end of it.
So here we go with the double peel. They did leave a guard, not ideal, but not terrible.
Yeah, I think we just got to go back, Dave, to the start. That it would have been, I think, in Amsterdam's best interest to double corner guards. I think that would have been the best way to try and solidify your 2 points. 2 points certainly still a possibility right now, but that yellow's wide open, and it looks like Amsterdam wants to go in the house and try and move those blues a little bit around here with Sterling. So this is a big moment in this end here for Amsterdam to try and get something going.
So here's Sterling Middleton. Looking to come on down here, push the Stones back, shuffle them around just a little bit. We're going to need to have some rocks in play to generate a score here. Tucks behind pretty nicely, honestly.
Yeah, it's interested to see what Epping does now. If he wants to eliminate, I would assume he's going to eliminate that yellow and then try and bring it back and maybe hit and flop in towards that blue sitting in the 4-foot.
I see the one indication was to possibly run the guard, also entertaining him hitting the one on the wings there, and by far the much more straightforward shot.
Yeah, and I certainly don't mind this call, Dave. I don't mind hitting this yellow and flopping into the 4-foot because still you're going to have 3 of your rocks and Amsterdam's going to have 1 in the 12-foot. He's going to still have to find a way to contend with your 3 rocks. So I like this call. I think it's keeping it simple, not complicating things too much, and just playing to the lead you have. I mean, maybe things change if you don't have a 4-point lead right now, but in the 5th end. But I think with where the scoreboard is, this is the logical call.
Gonna get the hit and the roll.
And that's what.
Yeah, pretty good spot because you can't roll in from there.
Yeah, and that's what's impressed me so far with Team Epping. Their weight control has been fantastic. You're seeing on almost every shot, the sweepers are making some sort of movement, whether it be a hard dust or just a light dust. So I really like Team Epping. Their weight control has been fantastic, and I get the feeling that they've figured out the ice perhaps a little bit quicker than Amsterdam has.
So they're going to take on this one on the top of the 8-foot. The problem with that is you are going to end up looping your own stones.
Middleton is saying the weight was light, right out of the hand, and huge dust. You got to give props because these sweepers, that's a huge dust, even just to get that past, but that's going to end up being a very, very tough result. But just to even get that past that guard with that brush, that's impressive stuff.
They end up splitting their own over the top, and just a matter of removing this stone here, and it's going to be 4 stones for John Epping. So things went from unfortunate to worse.
Well, and you look at the degree of difficulty, Dave, when it comes to the shots. Team Epping haven't really been faced with any overly difficult shots. I'm not going to call them routine shots, but you look at this one, just a rather simple hit with stick. No damage, nothing hard, nothing out of this world. When you go over to Team Van Amsterdam, they've gotten themselves into some trouble with a couple of missed shots in a row, and that's been over the past couple of ends. So their degree of difficulty on their shots is much higher than of Epping, and just a simple shot, and the job is done for Team Epping once again.
And we do see a little bit of a half shot there. They didn't want to roll towards the center there, generating a pocket possibly for Van Amsterdam to be able to use here.
Yeah, when Team Epping makes a mistake, as they just did there, as you mentioned, with that half shot, now Team Van Amsterdam has to capitalize. This has to be a good shot from Ginter, which I expected to. He sort of missed his last one, but I expect this to be a solid shot. And now it's up to Van Amsterdam to do the rest here. Looked like they were looking at that blue on just the right side of the top of the 8-foot there originally. They're just going to tap that blue back in the button instead.
Parker's got his head down hard on this one. Not taking a breath the entire way. Got to get past that top blue or you're going to wick off. How far open? could have been worse, but probably still gettable.
Yeah, and that just comes down to weight once again, Dave. I don't think Team Van Amsterdam has figured it out, because that brushing again, kudos, because that's some world-class sweeping there. Just the weight was a little bit off, and you can't pick it up at the end. But really good job by Parker there to put his head down, give her all he could. But at the end of the day, it's just going to result in another easy shot for Team John Epping. And I mean, you expect Epping to make this 100 out of 100.
Epping coming at this from the intern side. On and off, always a good sign. Now just bringing it home. No problem.
Now you've left Van Amsterdam, Dave, with not much, and that's that's to put it nicely. You're gonna have to try and jumble up some rocks here, but pretty perfect end from Team Epping once again, up by 4.
It's like there's a whole bunch of tuna fish in the plate, and you're asked to serve chicken a la king.
And the degree of difficulty for Team Van Amsterdam is high. They have some real tough shots. I mean, they've put themselves in a position where they have to make some big shots. So it'll be interesting to see if they can capitalize here, but it's not going to be easy.
The one thing I don't think you can draw right to the face of Shotstone and kill the angle in such a way that Epping can't clear.
Yeah, a draw's going to do nothing for you here. You have to bring up weight. But I think any up weight you bring, you're gonna, it's gonna be. There's gonna be an opportunity for Epping to get it out.
But the real question, Darnell, is: are there an equal amount of blueberries in each muffin?
I'm gonna go with no. In my experience, I have never met a muffin that had the equal amount of blueberries.
It's infuriating. It's infuriating.
It is. I would love. It's like you have pepperoni pizza. There's not the equal amount of pepperoni. It's just. It's life as it is, and but we'll see what Amsterdam can do with his lemon here. This is a big shot. I mean, you're down by 4. Getting a deuce is real tough trekking, but you have to at least get one. Keep yourself in the game. Perhaps get some momentum back and force just head into the 6th end and turn over the script and make Epping make some good shots.
And Amsterdam on the way down, try to make these blueberries into lemons. Off the 1-2, and you get down to shot rock. That's about as good as you could do, buddy.
Outstanding. That's again, it's an easy out for Epping, but what it does, it's going to open things up for Van Amsterdam on his last to get that 1 point and to maybe get that confidence back, because that's a real nice shot. I mean, he called it and he made the shot, so even if it doesn't result in 2.
Epping with his last is going to blast away. Just looking Workman to clear it. And make sure you don't jam. There you go. You lost one of your own, but you won't worry about that. Most important job is done.
Yep. Perfect.
And he's electing to play the hit and stick for his single.
This is just one of those shots at this level. More or less a routine shot. Just focus, get in the hack, do your pre-shot routine. Get a point back, because Van Amsterdam should be, if he can find a way to maneuver and get this point, he should be feeling good about himself. I mean, he's still down by 3 points, but before he went up to shoot his first rock, things were looking a heck of a lot worse than they are right now. So kudos on that first shot to Van Amsterdam, and now an opportunity for him to capitalize and get a point back.
Final stone in the fifth then. Just had to hit and stick. Hit and stick for your single. Rushers like it, just escorting it down. And right in the beak, no problem. Single point in the books. 6-3 in favor of John Epping. We'll be back from High Park after this. Here at High Park. Second point for Van Amsterdam, but Epping does have the hammer. He's up by 3 in the even ends here. So all out for the steal here for Van Amsterdam, right?
100%. You're running out of ends, and you're down by 3 points. So you got to go all out steal. But again, a really nice ending to that end for Van Amsterdam. I thought they were reeling all in pretty much through 6 rocks, and perhaps, you know, feeling deflated, as I mentioned, from the prior end where things didn't go well and they ended up giving up a steal of 3 because they missed some key shots. But nice, good job for Van Amsterdam to settle things down and get his team back in the game and at least give them a chance to try and claw back.
So second guard's going to be upcoming here.
Right now. All 3.
Really key to make this shot is called. I mean, you got to be pretty much perfect moving forward if your team Van Amsterdam.
It's under the corner, so it is in the house. So John Epping can entertain the possibility of coming after it. You can see a decent sliver of it.
Well, and this is the shots that they've been making with McMillan here. Another good opportunity, but again, Dave, another error from Team Van Amsterdam. And a simple one at that, just trying to get a guard outside the rings, get yourself set up, but brought it into the house, and now Team Epping a chance to eliminate that rock.
And they do find their way past it, so they will be able to kick that Yellowstone out into the open. Not clearing it all the way, but that's good because it gets out of harm's way.
Yeah, you're happy. You're happy there. That's a nice shot there from Ian McMillan. used to curl back in the day with Robbie Gordon out of the Manitoba circuit.
Now still looking to rebuild an end here, and Sterling Middleton is going to have to put some more junk up front.
Yeah, it's tough having to, you know, try and rebuild an end when you're already a few rocks in, but that's where, you know, Team Van Amsterdam find them in. But a nice guard there from Sterling, and now it's just time for Epping to try and clean it up. I think he's going to try and maybe entertain taking out that yellow in the 12-foot block.
Does look like the angles are possibly there for the triple, so here we go. Get one, and we do clip the one in the back as well. And out the sides, a beautiful shot.
Yeah, that's like poetry in motion. That's just, you know, see a shot and you make a shot. That's real nice shot making from Morgan there. Epping put the broom in the right spot. The broom was hit. Just textbook stuff. And Team Epping looking really, really strong here. You could see Van Amsterdam's face after he made that shot. He's just like, what do we got to do? This team is just sort of making everything here, but they're playing real well.
Certainly a good start to the weekend so far for John Epping and his squad. Stage is a very long guard, so double peel upcoming. Or just a straight peel. Don't want to leave a guard.
Yeah, I think they're just electing for the straight peel. And a really nice start here for John, just to settle into the game and not have too much stress down the stretch. I mean, because as you progress in this tournament, especially, you know, if you're looking to qualify, which every team here is, but, you know, if you can find a way to qualify, you even get down to those, you know, whether it be A qualifier, B qualifier, or C qualifier, at some point you're going to feel an element of stress. You're going to start feeling that, because that comes as the tournament progresses. So nice for Epping here. Not that this match is over by any means, because it isn't, but they're not feeling a lot of stress right now because they have some pretty stress-free and simple routine shots.
And the shots come easier when you're relaxed.
Absolutely.
So now we're just going to lather, rinse, and repeat, and try again here.
So I guess that's why I never made it. I guess that's why I never made it on the pro tour circuit. I was always stressed. I needed to be less stressed.
Just gotta go with the flow.
How long do you think before the double peel? I think this is just another straight peel to get that one top one.
Well, the onus isn't on you to make a shot right now. It's much more on Van Amsterdam. So you just don't want. Make sure you block and tackle. You win championships by blocking and tackling.
Really nifty to need that the organs out there together. That's a really neat story for them. I'm sure they're enjoying every second, and really nice that you know, for John Epping, 41 years of age and so tenured, he's you know, sort of brought him under their wing and having a pretty good performance. So just a cool dynamic of this team, and of course you can't forget their lead Ian Miller.
You're not implying that 41 years of age is old, are you?
No, not by any means. Not by any means.
Good. Now I think you might see enough angle if you can make it over the top and clear everything.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they're thinking. Yeah, I think Epping just shook his head as well. Gave the final call. So we're going to see some heat on this one, and perhaps some action. A couple of rocks flying.
Oregon, it's one, it's two, and that's it, just a straight field. That's the way to miss it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, no harm done. perhaps not 100% ideal as you would want it. I think the double peel was there. You get one rock away, you're still sitting, you know, nearly top of the button there. So you're in a good spot. You're up by 3, have the hammer. All the pressure and all the stress right now is on Team Van Amsterdam, and that's exactly where Epping wants to be in the 6th end.
Jake showing off his excellent balance, sliding all the way down behind it, but robbing us of a view.
So I think they're coming. Are they coming to the button here as well? I mean, at this point, there's no real other options. You have to try and put it in a spot, hope that Epping can't get here, which Epping has been able to get to everything today. It's been pretty miraculous. I know I popped on the broadcast in the 3rd end. They have not missed many shots leading up to this, and it's not that Van Amsterdam's team has missed a ton, but the misses they've had have been big misses, like that double attempt back a couple of ends ago when Team Epping stole 3. So it's just the magnitude of the misses have been a little bit bigger for Van Amsterdam, and that's why he's in a 3-point hole.
Yeah, John's only miss came in the 2nd end, and he hasn't missed a shot yet since then. This one's probably significantly higher than they wanted.
Yeah, just the weight again, I think, Dave, because the brushers, they were on that pretty early, and I think they drug it a pretty decent amount of weight. So I think just once again, the Van Amsterdam's team, I think they've just struggled finding that draw weight. Now I think we're going to see Epping take on that double. I don't think there's anything, even a miss here. I don't think anything can. I mean, unless you cross the face and run it back on your own blue, which would just be catastrophic and unfortunate. But I don't see that happening.
And even if you do, you're going to have a shot with your last, most likely. So here we go. John Epping with his first of 2 in the 6th end. Just going to peel off the top. But really nowhere to hide here.
Nope. But, you know, you do put the pressure. You will put the pressure on Epping, which I don't think John has felt in a few ends where he's had to. Sure, it's likely not going to be a high difficulty shot, but still, your last rock of an end is never simple, especially when you have to draw 4 foot, draw 8 foot. You have a lead. You don't want to try and crumble. So whatever Van Amsterdam does here, they have to find a way to do it properly, get it in the right spot, and then hope that Epping makes a miss. I mean, I think right now you're in hit and just hope. Is he just hitting and chapping out? Is he chapping out to the side of the 8 foot?
It wasn't really a clear indication. It does look like he wants to roll open just a touch. That's at least what's going to happen. He jams right up against the side there, so. You can hit and stick for your 1 here. You can keep it simple.
Now, alternatively, Dave, could you have hit and chapped in and under? I mean, I know there would have been a really short double there, but perhaps John would have, flared one or got to the inside and maybe would have missed the double. I just think hitting and flopping to the outside makes it easier on John than perhaps maybe the double would have been.
You may certainly be right there, and obviously he's hoping for a rollout now. John Epping, final stone at number 6, hitting the beak for a single. Doesn't mind getting forced here, just about eliminating ends. And we got this one, no problem, so it's a single point for John Epping. And they carry a 4-stone advantage going into end number 7. We'll be back from High Park after this.
Hey, all you curling fans sitting at home watching the Stu Sells Toronto Tankard here at StuCurls.com. Look, High Park's just down the road. We're here in the Junction. If you bring the map card with you, come to Caribou Gifts and start your Christmas shopping early and get some great gifts for the fans.
Hi, I'm Carl Kloss and I'm the owner of Kloss Concepts. We're an electrical contractor operating in the GTA and Muskoka areas. Kloss Concepts is the proud title sponsor of the Toronto Tankard Series. We would like to wish everybody good luck and happy curling.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
We've already counted up.
Back here in Toronto at the Stu Sells Toronto Tankard, 7th end action. John Epping with a 4-stone lead here heading into the 7th end. Van Amsterdam with the hammer. And some interesting news has just come up in the curling world.
Yeah, it certainly has, Dave. EJ Harkin and Team Gushu have announced that they have effective immediately agreed to part ways. Now, Team Gushu had said, now I should say this team won 2 championships at the Briars and 2 Grand Slam of curling titles. Team Gushu said they're grateful for EJ's unwavering commitment and tremendous impact he made on our team. We wish him all the best in the future. That came directly from Gushu. Obviously, he made a great impact on this team with those 2 Briar championships and 2 Grand Slam titles. Harnden also shared some quote. He said, "It's been an incredible journey with Team Gushu. I'm proud of what we accomplished together, and I wish Brad, Mark, and Jeff the very best. To everyone who supports Team Gushu, I can't thank you enough for your warm welcome. The support this team has had is special, and it was incredible to experience that passion. I look forward to what lies ahead, both personally and professionally." And then Gushu also went on to say, as they move forward, the team will begin a search for a new player to join the lineup in the coming weeks. So certainly some huge news out of the curling world. I remember just earlier this week, I'm really good friends with Kyle Earing, who was playing on Team Sluchinski. Sluchinski left that team and is now playing on Team Cooey. So that was a big move that sort of changed the landscape a little bit. And now a really big one coming out of Team Gushu with EJ Harden leading the fold. So, of course, we have the Olympic trials coming up. And I don't know if EJ he wasn't curling to the best of his ability, in my opinion. Outstanding curler, a world-class curler, and a great man, and achieved a lot of great things. And whatever he does decide to do next, he's going to have a lot of success. But that's certainly something that I think shocked the curling world today.
It gives us room.
Gushu has been the force to be reckoned with for quite some time now. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, and we see a lot of shakeups going amongst the various teams right now as they try to get themselves set for the trials.
Yeah, and I think there was some disappointment from Team Gushu at the at the Hearing Light Challenge over the weekend when they lost to Team Mowat in the final 10-3. They were playing some pretty good curling, but ran into a Mowat team who capitalized on Gushu's mistakes. I know EJ made a couple of misses in that game as well. So frustrations from that, and that's just the landscape we're in. At the end of the day, it's a business. Whether you're good friends or not, it's the business. You want the best 4 curlers possible. Team Gushu is a world-class team. They're going to continue to be a world-class team. Really interested to see who they bring in, but at the end of the day, it's a business, and you have to do what is in the best interest of your team, your sponsors, and the end goal of trying to represent Canada at the Olympics.
So it'll be very interesting indeed. Take a look at some of the other games going on right now. On the women's side, Hardy is 6-4 over Burns. That came the 8th. Rana 5-4 over Markle. Man 5-4 over McMillan right now. And Fournier is 4-2 over Ferris in our other men's game. And we are at a 7-3 score right now. And the Peel Parade continues.
Yeah, this is just cleanup time. Those lemons are going to be being escorted out of Grocery Aisle number 1, and that's just sort of what's going to continue to happen here. Amsterdam's in a tough spot. It's tough to generate any sort of momentum when you're down by 4 against a real good team in the 7th end. They're gonna give it their all, but Team Epping just has shown no signs of slowdown, and they've capitalized on any errors that have been presented to them.
Now looking to come in with their sole remaining guard. Does not reach the rings. Double peel attempt is going to be coming.
Yeah, and it's just gone from bad to worse for Team Van Amsterdam. I mean, you're in a tough spot at the end of the day. You're climbing one of the tallest mountains against a really good Epping team, and you have to be perfect, and you need your opponents to miss a lot. And they haven't missed for ends. They haven't missed very many shots since I joined the broadcast. I believe in the back half of the second end. So I mean, you can't expect Epping to miss too many shots down the stretch.
I'm going to ask Ginter to draw to the back quad here. You need to do that just to get some distance, so it's not an easy run.
And I mean, if you get a deuce here, it's tough, but you can try and manufacture a steal of 2, but you have to get a deuce here. Anything less than that, but Ginter, comes up, and that's just another uncharacteristic error, I will say, because Jason Ginter is a very good drawer. He's a very good player, but over the last 3 ends alone, he's had 6 shots, and I would say he's had probably 4, maybe 4 or 5 of them have been less than desirable.
We'll give that a good look to see if it's a biter. From our perspective, it doesn't look like it is, but it certainly is something that could get split onto the ring, so. Do you entertain the slash at it now?
You certainly could. Or you just maybe keep things simple.
Yep.
Because if you do try and slash that one, and not like it would happen, but if you tried to slash that one, and if you ever did flash, and then that perhaps does bring 3 into play, because as you just alluded to, that little tick, bring that yellow in and then roll your second yellow in. They're still thinking about it, but I think there's maybe a little bit more margin for error with the slash than there is just eliminating that yellow in the forefoot, keeping it simple. Even if you give up 2, you're going to be up by 2 with hammer in the 8th end coming home. You really can't ask for much more.
You want to freeze this low?
So here's Epping with his first.
Absolutely.
Right on the beak, no problem at all. Settles right into the H of Asahi.
Now this is going to be all on Van Amsterdam to try and negotiate himself, and it's going to have to be absolutely perfect and precise. We'll see if he can get his draw weight. That's something that he struggled with throughout. But as mentioned, a couple of good performances this year with two fifth place finishes, one at the Saville shootout. So he knows how to make big shots at big moments, and this is a big moment, because this ultimately, if he can get this in a perfect spot and force Epping, and then if Epping were to ever miss, Amsterdam gives himself a chance to at least play 8 and try and stir something.
So needs a perfect freeze here. While managing the weight control, but just about laid a brim to it. Well, gonna get on it and just lock it on. Don't want any separation. And do get a small tap there.
Real close. Real good effort. Just that little tap, that's enough for Epping, or should be enough for Epping anyways, to slide it out, and then Amsterdam should have a shot for 1, and then it's up to them whether they want to continue on. But a good effort though, good effort from Amsterdam. I like how they're plugging away. They're not giving up. They're continuing to grind, continuing to try and force the issue. Just appears they might just come up a little bit short.
So John Epping electing to take care of this rock that potentially might be on the rings.
I'm really interested by this shot. Is there not somewhere in the world where if he was outside, it didn't happen there, I understand, but couldn't he have maybe jammed that on the yellow and then Amsterdam have a shot for 3? Was that there, or is that just me thinking of something that's not there?
Well, I didn't expect that rock to come there either, buddy, so your guess is as good as mine.
So now Amsterdam, Van Amsterdam is...
Got a shot at his deuce.
I'm just surprised. I'm surprised with the shot selection there for John, because it would have been a relatively easy shot to eliminate that yellow with up weight. You can eliminate the back blue as well, and then give Van Amsterdam an open draw for 1. But now you give him an easy shot for 2, and then they're right back in the match. I mean, it's not easy to steal 2 points, but it gives them a chance at least. So I'm a little interested with the call there from Epping.
I think the thought was that if he had never gotten enough to actually clear the yellow and possibly lose his shooter, that could have done it. But Van Amsterdam makes his deuce. He'll trail 2 heading into the 8th. When we come back from this deuce cells, Toronto Tankard on Curling Zone.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the Stu Sells Toronto Tankard here at StuCurls.com. And all you fans and all you curling teams who are staying in the area, come up to Petty Fine Foods. Lots of great prepared food. You just throw in the oven, cook, eat, and go. And if you show your map card to Stefo, you're gonna get
a free espresso and a complimentary cannoli on the house.
Free! Free! So come on up.
4-letter magic word.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss, but it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
We're back here at number 8 of the Stu Sells Toronto Tankard from the High Park Club in Toronto. Dave Schmel with Darnell Duff with you. We're pleased to have you join us though. This match has John Epping holding a 2-stone lead here with Hammer in the 8th. And just looking to not make any mistakes here.
However this game ending up, Dave, I mentioned it just before we went to break there, but I could really appreciate the effort from Van Amsterdam here. I mean, they've been sort of down and not necessarily out, but they've been down ever since they gave up that steal of 3. You could see they were a little deflated, maybe a little dejected, but they've stuck with the process here. They're trying to make some shots, and not necessarily the shots that will bring you and get you a victory here, but shots that build you some confidence, get yourself familiar a little bit with the ice moving forward into your B-side match next time.
Carter Conship putting the draw underneath and get in front of that Epping rod. Once again, any guard is a good guard and you need a fly. John's content to let play work in the wings because it will always leave in the center.
Just a veteran move from John. It's my first ever broadcast on this curling stadium. So thanks for having me, Dave. This has been a blast.
No problem. Happy to have you on the team. Here I'm calling for the top 8 foot.
Yeah, if you're Epping, you're just at this point, or sorry, if you're Van Amsterdam at this point, you have to make your shots all perfect, and then you need some luck. That's boils down to that. You need some luck. You need some misses from Team Epping.
Give this one a mighty scrub. Trying to get her down there. Just did not have enough to whip that meringue up there.
I think the weight maybe was okay, just the line. There's certainly not enough line, but I think the weight was okay if you could have paired it with the proper line. But I love the reference of the meringue there, sticking with the lemon.
That's what we call a callback. Here's another veteran move, realizing that, yeah, I could certainly take care of that yellow in the glass, but these long guards are going to be the ones that could potentially cause problem if they were ever to hook another one in there. So get rid of it now while it's simple. Montana dispatches that with all due prejudice.
And the winner of this game will play Daniel Hosevar's team. He actually beat Magnus Ramsfeld, who lost in the Hearing Life Tier 2 Challenge over the weekend to Kleider. So that's an intriguing matchup coming up for the winner of this game. That'll be tomorrow afternoon at 12 o'clock on the A side. Of course, the loser moves on to the B side in this triple elimination.
And you'll be able to catch all those games right here on Curling Stadium. We have every sheet for you all weekend long. So don't worry about your chores. Keep it right here.
The loser, much quicker turnovers. They'll go up against Team Ramsfeld tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock local time. So tough competition coming up for whoever comes out of this match and whoever doesn't, and getting scary moments if you get to the B side, because you know one loss there takes you down to the C, and ultimately can't lose in the C or else your weekend goes by quickly. But I'm sure Team Van Amsterdam will respond tomorrow morning. They'll be tough. Magnus Ramsfeld, a top-end elite curler, is at the Tier 2 Challenge for a reason. Always makes some good noise on the world stage as well. So a couple of top-notch curling matches coming up throughout this weekend. Certainly can't wait to be part of the action.
So getting to the point in the end where Van Amsterdam can't really invest in another guard here. Just to try to make his move into the rings.
Yeah, and nowhere to hide. Could you ever wrap it around that flute?
You certainly could. You could come right through the port of through that whole port and bring it back to, say, possibly right around to. You could come behind on the open side if you like. I think I'd be more inclined early. Well, it's late in the end, but it's still early to come through both ports and maybe wrap behind in the back 8, because you're going to have to score multiples here, so you have to leave room.
We do know Van Amsterdam's pretty good at coming through ports. If you remember, a couple of ends ago, he came through that port with Sadiq to make a real good shot that led to his one-ender a couple of ends ago. So we'll see if he could stir up any magic here. Tap that yellow back.
Does appear to be the call. A little tap freeze action, leave another guard up there. All you can really do at this point is make the pile heavier if you're playing this.
But eventually you only have 3 rocks and you have to make 2 count. So you're gonna have to make a big move here in a quick, and they're dusting this one pretty quick off the start.
Gonna come on up and catch it. Ooh, ends up right in the open. Probably the one place you didn't want to put it.
Now they did angle that yellow to the side of the 4th. It's not shot right now, but that could perhaps get interesting. It depends what John decides. Like, I think he's coming down to take that out, but that could be interesting, depending on what Team Epping decides to do here, and if he can pull off the shot.
Well, the other thing is, here's another pro move. He's just going to make sure he can see everything, because Van Amsterdam really can't afford to throw another guard. So by getting rid of this, he's going to make sure the canvas is open for him.
Just a great curling mind. John is a veteran, been around the game for a long time, and just trying to simplify things for himself with his last shot, because as a skip, of course, you want things as simple as it can be.
And it helps even more when Horgan does that. Makes the double. What a nice little bonus there. Let's take another look.
Now we're just doing one yellow at a time, but it's fine. Right?
Just make them all.
So you just got right on in there. You caught it. Make it over. Jacob tried to lean it in there, and he got it.
And I must also say kudos to our production team with those replays and all they're doing. That's pretty top-notch stuff as well. I mean, we love talking, but we can't do it without the production team. So awesome stuff done there. Freezing in the pocket here, I think, is the call.
Yep, you need to use those stuns.
Oh, that's...
Probably moved it more than he wanted to, though.
Yeah, there's nowhere to hide, and looks like there's a more or less routine double with how hard these guys can throw it, and this could almost seal it.
At the very least, you get rid of one, and the math's going to get very close to not mathing anymore. So Jake fires this one down.
Perfect.
And there they go.
Outstanding.
And that'll do it. And that'll be handshakes.
Well, they still have two, so they got to still eliminate one more.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I thought they were. There goes my math again. See.
Perfect shot from Jacob. It's just a great shot, up and down the line. Perfect slide, hit the broom. Just real nice. Real good effort from Team Epping all afternoon. Certainly deserving of this one, and also have to pay respects to Van Amsterdam for trying to claw away and coming close, but close at the end of the day. Doesn't amount to much.
It was amazing the amount of power in that shot, watching Yellowstone just spring out the front of the house.
Well, and the work ethic of these guys, you know, sweepers, and how much work they put in the gym. It's pretty outstanding, the hard work and the dedication and commitment to trying to be an elite curler. And you know, that's a good shot. It makes Epping throw this one. And even if he misses, I mean, he's still going to have an open hit at the end to wrap this game up, but doing whatever they can to just try and stay with it, Van Amsterdam.
So John Epping looking to make the short run here, remove the yellow in the back, and steal his way through the next part of the A bracket.
Just a straight peel.
And then just peel it open. That's fine. There's no clutter here. Van Amsterdam has to move it.
Yeah, and there's nowhere to hide. There's nowhere to go. You eliminate this blue, and Epping's going to have an opportunity with his last to send his team to the next round of the A side against Hocevar tomorrow morning, or tomorrow afternoon, I should say, at noon.
So final stone eighth end for Evan Van Amsterdam and his squad from Edmonton, Alberta.
Roll, Jay, roll.
Just avoids jamming on his own and doing it for him.
That was nice weight control though, because if that was just a skosh heavier, John wouldn't even have to shoot this last one because one of his yellows would have left the ring. So good weight control by Van Amsterdam, but this is about as simple as it gets for John. You don't need to stick, you just need to get rid of one yellow and you're moving on.
So John Epping final stone at number 8. Just need to clear one here. Clear one and you're good. clear one and you win. And we hit, we roll off, it doesn't matter, it'll be a final score of 7-6. Put that one in the books for John Epping and his squad, and they defeat Evan Van Amsterdam. So, Darnell, what are your thoughts in this game?
You know, I was impressed with Team Epping. They didn't miss many shots. They made it tough on Van Amsterdam, and they made it tougher on Evan than Evan's team made it on John Epping. You notice throughout this game, Epping had a lot of routine shots, whether they were hit and little chap overs, draws, some upweight shots, but they were routine shots for the most part. So I think if you're Van Amsterdam moving forward onto the B side now, going up against a very good Magnus Ramsfeld team, to try and stay in the B and not fall down to the C too early, because going through the C side, like, that's a gauntlet if you get down there too early. So I think you got to try and make it a little bit tougher on Ramsfeld. Make your shots a little bit more precise. You go back to when Van Amsterdam threw that draw right through the rings and then ultimately gave up a steal of 3. That was the difference in this game. They did some good things, but it's tough against a world-class team when you get down by 3 late in the game. So I look forward to seeing what they can do on the B side tomorrow against Ramsfeld, and just a solid victory from Team Epping, and also looking forward to seeing what they can do in their continued A side action tomorrow afternoon.
That'll do it for us right now. From the High Park Club at the Stu Sells Toronto Tankard, I'm Dave Schmel with Darnell Duff and Connor Sims back in our production. We thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for more action later on here on Curling Stadium.
Hey, curling fans at High Park and sitting at home watching the Stu Sells Toronto Tankard at stewcurls.com. Look, after the game, we're just up the road from High Park. Come to my house in the Junction, have a cocktail, have a late night snack, and talk about the game.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.